Boy Troy Jet, and I'm back with another stream. I woke up pretty late, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I woke up pretty late. I got some really good sleep these past 2 days. But anyway, this is gonna be a crossover between the two different series that I have, the boss series and the pro tip series. I'm gonna have both, like I explained in my last video with the Vanguard leveling guide. I was gonna do a crossover, and this is that crossover. So basically today, what I'm gonna tap into is I'm going to go do the event, giving you both knowledge on how to take down Lizardman, which can also be found in the mansion, in one of the mansion boss rooms, to get Lancelot's Rev 3 and the Supreme weapons. It's also it's that same boss. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you his boss tips plus the event tips that'll help you out. And maybe if this gets, I think this is a redux. Yeah, this is a redux actually. So I don't know if they're gonna do another redux for this event. I don't know how that really works. I haven't lived through many redux because I come from Xbox anyway. So that being said, I didn't have a lot of events to begin with, but here this is a redux, and I'm gonna walk through the redux for you. That was pretty late, like I said in my last video, to be doing a guide when the event is technically over with, but it also can give you information on how to take down Lizard as well, and it'll help out a lot. So the first thing that we want to do to make this effective is we want to actually switch our gear up, because this dungeon that we're about to do, I found it best to use fire to take care of this dungeon. If you have any fire element, it's probably the best element to get the job done. But you can also use wind, you can also use rain, you could also use holy. All of those different elements should take care of the boss in the dungeon, which is the main antagonist in this dungeon, the one that you really have to worry about or you have to conquer. The rest of the mobs in the dungeon, just off of sheer skill force, you should be able to take care of these guys. If not, then bring a buddy in, get rid of those mobs, charge up vanguards, charge up mounts, or bring mounts in. That all can take care of the boss. But remember the elements I just spoke of. If you have any fire, if you have any wind, if you have any rain, if you have any holy, all those things can deal damage to the boss, with fire being the most effective. Also, the information I want to give you on Lizardman is what I found him to be through tests of different vanguards and through tests of mounts and all, assist characters. All the tests that I've run all point towards him being a beast in nature. So if you have any vanguards that specialize in fire and are strong against beast, they are gonna play a huge role in you conquering this dungeon, or you getting through this event with no problem, or getting through this boss with no problem, rather, because his nature isn't gonna really change from here to the next dungeon that he makes an appearance in. But yeah, so as you can see, Akane, which is one of the sisters that you can acquire from this event, I've gotten pretty lucky. I've gotten her 3 scroll. I got her to 100. She's 3 scrolled. I only need 2 more scrolls for her. I'm not gonna get it from rolls, more than likely. Well, I will probably, but maybe either the next time she comes around, or if I just decide to get lucky because they keep it, or keep the the Vanguard's in the gacha or something, I'll probably max her out eventually. But I'm lucky as crap to get 3 scrolls for her. But she fits the criteria perfectly to take care of this boss. As you can see, she has Slice element, she has Fire element, which is, like I said, the most effective way to deal with this boss. But as you can also see, she does have Wind as well, which is also very effective. Out of the two, I've witnessed Fire take care of them a lot quicker, because Fire has like that burn after effect, after effect, similar to how Poison has like, that after effect where it'll still add on some damage to the boss. Wind is pretty effective too, but like I said, I would go with Fire, or whichever out of all of the elements that I named, Fire, Wind, Rain, Holy, whichever one you have a better build for, I would take them there. That's what I would run. But as you can see, she's strong against Beast. He's a beast. I'm gonna go through my other Vanguards. Let's see. Weak against Beast. Keaton is really strong against Beast. Some would argue that Keaton is better to take down Lizard Man than Akane. Only reason I say that, I would say Keaton is right behind Akane. Not in terms of like power, because she can put out a lot of damage. It's just more so because Akane has both the weaknesses of the boss while being strong against the boss, so it's like you got more options with the skills that Akane has versus what Keaton has. Keaton is lightning and fire, good for both, very good for both. I only really have her like 2 scroll right now, so she's right underneath the power of my Akane, but she still wrecks him. I'll probably do a test of her too to show you guys how strong she can be. Now the poison inside of the dungeon from Lizard Man can throw a lot of people off. It can mess up like test runs, so I'm gonna try to show you guys how to avoid that poison and how to survive. A mount that's also really good for him is Hound Dog. Hound Dog is really good to take into the dungeon with you, because Hound Dog has Wind, but he also has a Wind and Fire move. I'm gonna show you. The Tempest is his Wind and Fire move. This move does a lot of damage to him. Does a lot of damage to Lizard Man, the boss. So he really helps out, especially if you have other players in the dungeon that can help out. But if I were to solo this dungeon, I would literally go straight into, like when I get into the boss, I'll go straight into Hound Dog, which I would use this and spam it until I can't anymore, trying to avoid some of his attacks, because when you do get attacked by him, it does drop your ability to use more and more skills. But if you keep attacking him, you do a decent amount of damage that's very noticeable. The more, like I said, the more people that you have that have the right element to help deal damage, the better and the quicker it should be. But if you're soloing, when I usually bring in this guy, help me deal some damage, and then the rest of it I leave to Akane or Keaton, for example. Those guys do a lot of damage. Oda does a lot of damage, I believe. I don't know for sure, but I already gave you the nature, so you can kind of look through your Vanguards and see who's good for what. I know Venus is really good to him too. Venus complements my rain element. I have a lot of rain element. I run like rain a lot, so as you can see, she's strong against Beast as well. but she definitely compliments me. She's really good for wind and holy. Doesn't have too much of a buff as keyed in does, but I will say she's very, very effective. So do not sleep on her. Even though keyed in has 2 scrolls and Venus doesn't, I could tell right off that if I were to have Venus 2 scrolled, she could really take care of a lot of bosses. She could take care of a lot of bosses just because of the elements that she work with alone. There's not too many things that's weak to lightning. But there's a lot of things like late game that are really weak to wind. They're, neutral to holy and things of that nature. But I want to show you this skill she has. She has these aqua needles here. I think in the last update or 2, she got a buff. So her aqua needles are really strong, especially with my rain element. Her aqua needles are really, really strong. And she could pretty much just spam them at will. With that being said, I actually I can almost solo E-Beast on hard. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, that kind of proves that she's not a slouch. I only have her level 80. She has no scrolls. Well, basically 1 scroll, but she's level 80. And if I can deal about 85% of E-Beast's health on hard, that just lets you know how powerful she can be. So do not slouch on her if you have her. She'll work. Let's see. But yeah, just look through your vanguards and see who. I'm trying to get Huyu up. And right here, parameters, it'll show you who can take care of them. Huyu is really good, a really good option as well. I'm trying to get her up right now. As you can see, she's strong against beasts, and look at the fire element on her. It's ridiculous. It's so much. She's like so powerful right now. And I think she'll be even more helpful in this upcoming event. So I'm gonna definitely be working with her a lot in this upcoming event. She's got 100 fire element, and that, like I said, is the most effective. But let me just put that to the test. I'm gonna show you guys. I haven't been lying to you. I haven't been giving you false information. So yeah, hold on. Let me switch back to who do I want to bring this time. I guess I could test out keyed in first, and then I'm gonna use Akane. Now, if you do have keyed in, I will say this is like my lightning lineup right here, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. But what I will give you is this lineup right here. This is like all fire right here. I have the Good Omen 0, which is basically like a buff for her attacks. And then I have the spheres. The illumination spheres are very spammy, and they are very strong. And with me being able to do that, they do majority of the damage. Whenever I do see an opening, however, I will try one of these Oogis, which are not bad at all. If you can get a solid hit, say if you're running in a party, you could try these Oogis after using the Good Omen 0, and they deal so much damage. It's ridiculous. But these are a lot harder to land on Lizardman, since he's a pretty active mob or a pretty active boss. So, and he can stun you, he can do all types of things. So it's good to keep your distance. That's why I use these spheres mostly, because it allows me to dodge a lot of his melees and attacks, while still being able to hit him with a couple of these moves. But that buff does, however, take some of your HP from keyed in. So be very careful when using it, because if he's about to hit you with a poison attack, which is RNG, he will out of nowhere try a poison attack. Some of his poison attacks are buffed to the point where they just take out any Vanguard in its path, anything in its path, and do about 3,000 HP damage per second. It's ridiculous. So it's good to bring a staff inside. It's good to have some support behind you. But me being a bow build, I actually can charge my Vanguard back up fairly quickly. And it really helps to have scrolls for your Vanguards, because then they charge extra fast. For example, I just keyed in with 2 scrolls. She charges up probably in like, it probably takes like a couple of seconds less than a minute to charge her from the boss itself. But in doing so, I had to watch out, you know, try to stay alive, dodge a lot of his attacks. But it's not too bad being a bow. Versus Asura, if I were to try to charge Asura or somebody like along that line, it would take a long time.
He on his way home from Taco Bell.
Okay.
He got y'all soft tacos.
Okay, that'll work. Nice.
Come on, meatball. Going down there.
Yeah, let's go. What did I say? Keyed in? Yeah, I did. Alright, we're gonna use keyed in. So to use keyed in, you want to go ahead and summon her from Ibaraki, which is your normal partners. Team Kawaii. It's pretty cool, people coming out with teams. I do want to join an affiliation, but I do have a team of my own, is the thing. I'm starting an in-game clan called Sublime, and I'm going to introduce it to a lot of people, especially when I get more powerful. I'm going to try to get more people recruited into the clan, some more credible people, some strong people, some wise people, and together we're going to form a nice clan in-game, and the Sublime crew is going to make its mark very soon. And I hope that everything goes as planned. I hope that we don't get too much backlash for it. We don't get too, you know, I hope this is a lot more successful than when I tried to do the same thing on Xbox. The bad thing about Xbox was that it's just like a bunch of people had a team and we were doing very well, but just the lack of updates, the lack of attention, the lack of content in the game, toxicity in the community was just like pushing people away from the game. And I was like one of the only members of the clan that was just active, and the clan just deteriorated from there. It was not cool at all. It wasn't cool. Alright, so I'm about to go ahead and put up a bubble. And I'm going to tell you why I do what I do. Okay, I have this L Sin out, because I use the L Sins lightning flash shots to kind of clear rooms. Along with this rapid shot too, it helps me clear rooms. I use this for mainly for the element that it provides, this Nova. I use it mainly for the element, but also when I am at the boss, say for instance the worst case scenario happens to where my Hound Dog is maxed out, so he does a lot of damage, but say I run out of Hound Dog attack and I can't use Hound Dog anymore, so I'm forced to try to use Keaton, and somehow he hits me with that OP poison and he just destroys Keaton somehow, right? My backup is to use, or I'm gonna say for instance, Keaton has like a little to no like health when I'm trying to get her back up, but she ends up dying, right? So I can't summon her anymore, and I can't really use Hound Dog at this point because Hound Dog would be, you know, out of stamina. So my last resort would definitely be this Nova. This Nova would help get me through. It does decent amount of damage to the boss. I don't have many fire mags. I don't have many element mags or anything. I do have some accessories that help out with my element and fire, so that's why I normally use fire. But this event gives you some pretty good skills, so I should put like some I should put one of my slalom skills on this weapon, but I'm gonna save it for, I'm either gonna like save it for my earth or save it for something else. Like I want to actually save that skill for like my supreme, when I make my supreme, and I want to save it for something like my falling star. I'm gonna put it on my falling star. That would be fun to do. Like put like a symbol of flames and put a slalom on my falling star. I think those are pretty good skills to put on there. But yeah, so we're about to run this event. I'm gonna show you how to get through it. I'm gonna try to solo since nobody joining. So let me go ahead and leave this. I'm not gonna put on any drop boosts because I only normally put on drop boosts when I have like a full party, because you just get that many more mats to drop inside. I already get about a base amount of like 75. I'll still get some drops in there to help out, but there's no point in going in without a full party if you're looking to get like really farm it. Well, I'm gonna just show you guys what I can do. Okay, let's see. We got, now I gotta check my mags, make sure everything's good. Alright, this is the lineup I'm running. I'm running 3 fused, which does not drop. It adds rain element, it subtracts lightning, it adds some mountain element, which is really cool. It subtracts wind, so you don't want to bring wind in. But I'm in here with fire basically. So it doesn't subtract any in fire, it doesn't add any into fire, but that's where we need to be. It does give me skill force, enough skill force to take care of the boss. And with that being said, it just helps me out a lot. I want to make a better Mekon mag, which will be my 4th mag. I'm probably going to add like some type of like fire element to the Mekon, or get a better roll for the Mekon, because as you can see from these 2 faded contractor rolls, I basically didn't get anything. I did get them to be successful, but they weren't like really good. I want some really good rolls for the faded contractor on the Mekon. But here's the accessories. The kind of accessories give you plus 15 the fire element and wind element, also boost your attack and HP, movement speed. All those things help out a lot. It gives you a lot of affinity for the other categories of weapons, in which this build is not. but the one that counters that is AoE, which will really be helpful against anything that's weak to like ice. But I'm not gonna put those on because I don't have like a really big ice build or a lot of ice weapons to begin with. I'm working on that still, so that's why I'm not running that right now. But I think with this lineup I should be fine. Just making sure I got everything. I got 110 fire element in right now, which is not that bad. I wish I had more, but that's really not that bad. Skill force 254 with these 3 fuse. It's not really bad. I only earned one of them, which I got decent rolls on. Wish I had better rolls, but you know, they're decent. Can't complain too much. But as you see, I can't really, right now, where I sit as far as like level, I don't have enough energy. I only have like 2 more energy I can have left over. But if I were to double fate both of these mags, I wouldn't be able to put these mags on. Even if I did get really good rolls, I have to substitute either or, and I don't want to have to do that. So that's why I've been doing it that way. Alright, let's run the event. Took like 5 years to get to the point. As I said earlier, I always keep a staff on me just to help. It doesn't really help me like as much as it would if I had like my silhouettes on, which gives me a lot more skill force. When I use the skill force on the staff, with my silhouettes I can heal myself for 4,000 a tick. And with these fuse, without being on, I probably do a little over 1,000 HP healing, which is huge. Should have probably brought my earth in because it kind of clears rooms a little bit faster. This just gives me versatility. This allows me to stay versatile and use range. Get attacked a lot less. I try to hit as many of them as I can. And that's what I like about these lightning shots. I can just kind of pick my spots where I want to hit them from and get like collateral damage to all the mobs. And I can also move this scale around so I can hit as many enemies as possible. Even though it's subtracting the lightning element, as you can see, as you've seen with the fuse, still does enough damage to where you can kill these mobs. So with that being said, don't worry if you specialize in lightning. The only thing you really need to worry about is the boss. You can still take care of these mobs and have a negative element. All you need is skill force to take care of them. The boss is where the momentum will definitely shift for those that don't have the correct element to take care of him, or rather his weakness. Seems so slow when I do it this way. But I'm not trying to use this mount. The mount usually helps me get keyed in up much faster. And I usually use the mount, but only when I'm in like parties. I don't use it when I solo, especially when Hound Dog has the weakness to the boss, because I want to use as much stamina as possible to help me deal damage to the boss. And then from there, just in case he has, like, giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's gonna get some good shots in on me, whether it be by surprise or whatever, I'd still only have to worry about a little bit of his HP as opposed to like a full health lizard man. And if I were to just waste the stamina all just to clear the dungeon quicker, yeah, it'd be, some people will feel like it's more effective, but in the end, if you don't have like a maxed out Vanguard, or you don't have the right element, you could hinder or mess up your running. Alright, the first thing I usually do is go ahead and swap into the mount. It doesn't matter which weapon you use when using these mounts. Some people use Chakram. Me, I like to use Tempest 3. And as you can see in this attack, I can avoid a lot of his attacks. The thing that you want to hit the most in this attack is that left, like, fist that he throws. See how much that does? That left fist is just deadly to him. And you want to try to avoid as many of his attacks as you can, because he does eat away at your stamina. And the reason why I like using Tempest 3 versus Master is because I can get more Tempest 3 hits on him versus the Master, because of how much stamina it uses up. Alright, now I don't think I can use him anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to Kiden and show you how to use Kiden. You want to switch to a second weapon, with that fire weapon I was talking about. I gotta be very careful now. I did take some of her health, but she is buffed up. See that poison? You want to dodge that. Keep hitting them. Dodge as much as you can. That poison is the most deadly thing he has in his arsenal. He got it. So I definitely can't use that buff to survive or deal more damage, I'd say. I want to make sure I stay alive, so I can't use that buff right now. And you see she's eating away at his health. I'm gonna use the buff in a second. Ah, I got hit with the second one. I think she's done. It's easier for me to dodge as a bow. Alright, try to block it. There we go. Come up right beside him. You don't want one of those. Certain attacks will stun you pretty good. And try to see if I can use this staff to save me. Kind of why I bring that staff in with me. It works better when I have my silhouettes. Alright, let's switch back to this. My L-Sand also is a really good weapon to charge with. is what I found out. Even though I got the combo set on him, it still helps me charge her pretty fast. You want to kind of keep moving with this boss. You kind of can see how I'm able to dodge his attacks, keep my distance. He has a lot of range. I could probably kill him off of DPS alone at this point, but I know Key to be a bit quicker. And I can avoid a lot of his attacks. And as you can see, they are still able to attack him. Especially Hound Dog being probably the most effective. She's almost charged. Oh, he got me that time. I didn't perfect block it. He's gonna hit me with some type of stun. Alright, now I'm gonna switch back to Kiden. Hit one of her buffs. And now it's time to avoid him and spam him to death. And with the buff, it's gonna help out a lot. Cause see, this is why I use the Vanguard, because she has more fire element than I, and I just perfect blocked with her. I'm gonna use the Gut Omen again, and I'm gonna show you what one of these other moves can do. Thing's pretty strong. Alright, so it's a little solo right there. It wasn't too bad, considering that fire is probably, honestly, one of my worst elements right now. I probably got more lightning and wind than I do fire at all. I probably got, right now I will say I probably got more dark, a little bit more dark, a little bit more holy. I got tons of rain, and a little bit of wind, a little bit of lightning. But my weakest elements gotta be fire, gotta be mountain. I'm missing some ice, yeah. Fire, mountain, ice, those are probably my weakest elements that I run with now. So in those three categories, it's a no-go for me. But luckily I got people, you know, Vanguards like Kiden. I got Vanguards like Akane that really help out. I want to test Huyu, but I don't know exactly how good she's gonna be off of base. I know she's nasty and overpowered, but I do have a scroll for her, and I don't want to test her out until I get that scroll, or until I have another member to run with, just in case she can't do all the DPS. I know I could deal some DPS to the boss to probably finish him off, but I'd rather not die in the dungeon, honestly. Yeah, and I just feel like that'll be extra slow. I don't want to do that. So I want to just change up my Vanguard this time. Well, very similar to how I did before. I'm gonna use Akane this time. Let me see. This time I'm gonna run with. I'm gonna substitute my L Sin with what I believe is faster than my Earth.
Cause you know what? You know what day it is? Taco Monday!
Yeah, it's not Taco. It is now Taco Tuesday, my God. Alright, let me run back in here. But as you can see, I pretty much shredded his health. It took some time, don't get me wrong, it took some time. It took longer than I thought it would. Only because he hit me with that poison and I didn't avoid it. Like I did the second time, I avoided it. And I perfect blocked his stun too. Now, this is a deadly combo by Lizardman. If he stuns you and then poisons you, there's literally no way you can avoid it, especially if you're already in your Vanguard. Let me use this. This clears rooms pretty quick. And I could pretty much spam this all across the room. It's like the Fire Thunder Beast. All charge. I think that's, I was gonna say just about every mob in here. I can just slide across the entire room killing things. Pretty cool. And the cooldown time for this skill is just, it's little to nothing. And that's what I love about it. It's very spammy. It's very strong. I'm leveling up pretty quick. It's gonna be a pain when it starts getting up there in the level, but it's definitely helpful right now. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not used to using like Thunder Beast because I'm a bow user. So this skill's a little different for me. But I mean, it's proven, I've proven to improve with it, and I know how to use it now. It's very effective. It's very fun to use. And if you use it correctly, you're almost untouchable. Because of how easy it is to spam and the low cooldown time, I wouldn't recommend putting 3 different Thunder Beasts, which you do get from this event. I wouldn't recommend putting all 3 Thunder Beasts on here because it's so spammy. But you know, if you have enough of them, I mean, and you can just make weapons like crazy, it just doesn't matter. Like you say, if you got like 3 herbs or something, I don't know, and then why not, you know? Alright, we're back at the boss, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. And like I said before, it doesn't matter what weapon you have in your hands, you just want to fight the boss. And you can see the master does a lot of damage as well. You want to get that left fist in there. See how much extra damage that does. But I'm already down to 500. You know why? Because the Tempest Master takes more stamina to cast the move. Meanwhile, also having the move to take longer. And what that ultimately does, since the move is taking longer, he's getting more hits on you, which is draining your stamina even more. So that's why I use Tempest 3. Be careful with this guy. Alright, so she's strong to him. All we literally have to do is watch out for his poison. He can stun you too, so be careful. I got that move off before, so he wasn't able to hit me with the poison. This move does a big number on him. Got a stun. I'm gonna switch to this last weapon. Now I should be able to out DPS him from here. Yeah, I didn't care to see that poison right there. I still can probably finish him off though. Not worried about him. I'm gonna heal myself like twice, 3 times. Watch out for that second poison. He tried it. Well, he did. Wasn't a bad run for soloing, but those two right there, Keaton, Connie, both very good at killing him. So yeah, those are 2 examples of Vanguards that can kill him. I also told you his nature. I gave you some more examples of Vanguards that can kill him. I said Venus is pretty good. I've seen that Lancelot's pretty good. I'm gonna leave the dungeon and show you guys some more examples of Vanguards that you may have that will really help you out and killing them. And I've already let you guys, I've already laid out the elements that you can use to kill this boss. And he's the same, like I said, he's the same boss from the to get your Rev 3 and the mansion over right outside of Kumaso.
Y'all see that boy new contract?
What's up?
You seen it?
Which one?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I know it's
seen
big. Oh, I'm gonna find out.
10 year, $400 million.
Whoo! Whoo! That's a lot.
That's like $40 million a year. I think gonna get that much. But they ain't think about the 10 years though. They like this nigga, that's smart though. I know. That nigga won the Super Bowl. This was third year.
Yep.
His second year starting, his third year in the league.
He deserve it though.
Yeah, man.
I'll try to keep him around if I was them too. That's crazy. Patrick Mahomes' new contract. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Yo, what's up, Royally? Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of some Vanguards that, other than the ones that I displayed in the video, that I believe that'll help. Like I said, Venus, strong against beasts. Not much fire, but you can still use her wind, and you can use her holy. That really help out. She's very strong against him. If you have any extra accessories or mags that could boost the element, or you know, when you swap into her, if you have any good holy or wind weapons, when you swap into her, give her some extra element, some extra attack, it's perfect. She's gonna help you out a lot. Asura, I wouldn't recommend Asura for him. Nope. Let me see. I would recommend Saratobi if you have Saratobi. She specializes in so many different elements, it's just ridiculous. Looks like Kentucky Idol can do a little something. Possibly. But you gotta understand that she specializes in mountain, so not gonna be as effective as the others I mentioned, but she is strong against him, so she'll survive a bit to deal some damage. And most of us should have her maxed out. Shoot 10, he's a dark, he's a mountain, he's fire. Shoot 10 will work perfectly against the lizard. If you do have scrolls for shooting, he should do just fine. And again, like I said, in order to get that extra boost for shooting, make sure you have the right element that you want to use. Switch into that weapon and then hit the Vanguard switch when you have that weapon. Oda is more better. She's got some fire element and she's neutral to him, but I guess I wouldn't necessarily recommend her. I've never really tested her with Lizard, but I've seen people use Oda on the Lizard from the mansion. They get your Rev 3 and get your Supreme, and she does a lot of damage. Surprisingly, she does a lot of damage, but also she does take a decent amount of damage as well, so you gotta be very careful with that poison. If you can avoid getting hit by the poison, she will do a lot of damage. And I would recommend maybe at least a 2-scrolled Oda to be very effective against Lizard, because the way that her moves work, her moves take a long time. They do a lot of damage, but kind of like Hound Dog's, you know, Tempest Mastered. he basically makes himself vulnerable to attacks because the skill takes so long to finish. And Oda's the same way. A lot of her skill will take a very long time to finish, so she can't really have time to hit him and then dodge. It's more like hit him, tank whatever hit he just threw, and then hit him again for a lot of damage. So she's a good helping Vanguard. When she's not scrolled, she's a good helping Vanguard, but for her to be your primary Vanguard, I wouldn't recommend. Lancelot, I've seen Lancelot destroy Lizard Man plenty of times. As a lot of you guys know, she specializes rain, holy. Her wind isn't too bad either, I believe. She's perfect, honestly. I can't wait to get more scrolls for Lancelot, considering that I am a rain dominant build. I really can't wait. She's gonna be very, very big for me to get scrolls for. So I'm shooting for scrolls with her. I'm trying to level her up as well while I'm leveling up some of these other Vanguards. I'm trying to get the Vanguards that I have scrolls for already, trying to get those up first, and then, you know, when I get those out of the way, then I'll start leveling up Vanguards like her, start leveling up Vanguards like Shuten, finish getting Oda to like 80. I try to get all my Vanguards to like 80. But yeah, yeah, she's really good. You see, I wouldn't recommend Gawain, even though she's holy, which is effective to Lizard. She's still weak against him, so she takes a lot of damage. Anything that's weak against Beast or neutral, I probably don't recommend as the primary Vanguard, especially like running with a party or running by yourself. You want to have something that's strong against Beast. Something that's strong against Beast. Huyu, like I said earlier, really good. A very great option. Probably the perfect option. Probably even stronger than Keaton for this dungeon. I'd say Keaton is the second option, but I can't really compare. Yeah, I can. I can compare Keaton and Akane. As of right now, it seems like Keaton is a much stronger option since she's more at a distance. But I guess Akane can spam those slaloms, which aren't bad, and they can be distance too, so they're not bad either. You just literally just do straight slaloms and avoid getting stunned while keeping your distance, which is okay. But Keaton just has that. I'm gonna have to experiment with more of Akane's moves, see if she has any buffs that I can use to give me even a much bigger edge or bigger attack boost when I'm in the dungeon. I have to experiment with her a little bit more because I've gotten her recently and I haven't done too much experimenting with her. But Huyu is probably one of the most powerful fire attack Vanguards in the game, so she's definitely an option. And that's pretty much all I have in my arsenal. So anything that's strong against beasts has a lot of fire element, a lot of holy element, a lot of wind element, a lot of rain element. Should help you with Lizard. And just letting you know he's a beast. That should be a nice guide for you guys. I'm gonna have this down as a reference video. Like I said, it's gonna be a cross between my pro tips and my boss series. So with that being said, I'm gonna have it in both of those playlists in my channel. I'm gonna have it in both of those playlists. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you out today. I'm gonna end this stream off. I'm probably gonna play something else and eat some tacos. Just arrived not so long ago. I'll see you guys later.